Let me guess. You're constantly exhausted, your weight keeps shifting without explanation, your brain feels foggy more days than not, and your moods and digestion are all over the place. And yet, your labs look normal. Your doctor shrugs, and you're left thinking, is it just me? It's not just you. These struggles may seem disconnected on the surface, but there is a common thread running underneath it all, and it's one that most conventional providers completely overlook. The real culprit, HPA Axis Dysfunction. That's the breakdown in communication between your hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal glands, the system that runs your body's stress response. Now, you've probably heard the term adrenal fatigue, but this goes way deeper. This isn't just about tired adrenals, it's about a nervous system that's stuck in survival mode, running on fumes and sending your hormones into chaos. This video is for exhausted adults who've tried everything to address their chronic fatigue, stress-related traits, and hormonal imbalances, but yet continue to struggle. If you've been told your labs look normal despite feeling terrible, or if you've been prescribed medications that only mask your symptoms without providing real solutions, this information could be transformative. It's going to reveal how the HPA axis, your body's stress command center, becomes dysregulated, why this creates such wide-ranging symptoms, and most importantly, how addressing the underlying neurological imbalances can restore proper function. You're going to discover why the conventional medical approach often fails, and how neurologically focused care provides a pathway to sustainable healing by targeting the root cause rather than just managing the symptoms. So if you've been doing all the right things and you still feel like something's missing, stick with me. We're about to connect the dots and show you a path forward that actually makes sense. And the numbers back this up. According to the American Psychological Association, nearly half of all adults say stress is directly affecting their behavior. That's not just feeling overwhelmed, it's changes in sleep, eating habits, emotional regulation, and even how we relate to others. But it doesn't stop with us. Research published in the Journal of Experimental Biology shows that when a pregnant mom experiences chronic stress, it can actually program her baby's developing HPA axis for dysregulation. In other words, stress imprints on the nervous system before a baby even takes their first breath. And once that stress cycle is set in motion, it often shows up as low heart rate variability, or HRV, which is a key marker of nervous system function. Studies published in Science Direct have connected how low HRV with chronic cortisol imbalances and HPA axis dysfunction, meaning the body's stress response system is stuck on overdrive. Now, the problem is that most conventional providers treat these symptoms as if they're separate. Anxiety, here's a medication. Trouble sleeping, try this sleep aid. Digestive issues, take an acid blocker. But when the HPA axis is out of balance, those symptoms aren't random. They're deeply connected. Until we start seeing the whole picture and stop chasing individual symptoms, healing stays just out of reach. So let's break this down by first understanding what the HPA axis is and why it's so important. So the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, or HPA axis, is a complex communication network between three critical components of the endocrine system. The hypothalamus, which is in the brain, the pituitary gland at the base of your brain, and then the adrenal glands on the top of your kidneys. Now, when you encounter stress, the HPA axis kicks into gear. It increases your alertness, raises your blood sugar so you can quickly access energy, and helps your body fight off or respond to whatever threat it's sensing. Now, once that stress passes, it's supposed to bring you back to baseline. But here's the problem. When stress becomes constant or starts way too early in life, the HPA axis can lose its rhythm. it gets stuck in the on position, leading to various patterns of HPA axis dysfunction that conventional medicine often fails to recognize or address. That brings us to what we call the perfect storm. So HPA axis dysfunction often starts far earlier than most people realize, even before birth. If a mother experiences high stress during pregnancy, that stress can impact the development of her baby's HPA axis, essentially pre-programming the nervous system to overreact to stress. And then birth trauma is another major contributor, particularly interventions such as forceps delivery, vacuum extraction, and C-sections. Now, these interventions, while sometimes they are necessary, they can introduce significant stress to a baby's neurospinal system and set the stage for subluxation. When subluxation is present, the communication between the brain and the body, including the endocrine system that governs the HPA axis, starts to falter. And that early disruption doesn't just go away. Over time, it can be compounded by chronic emotional stress, poor sleep, exposure to environmental toxins, gut imbalances, hidden infections, and even certain medications. It's like layering stress on top of stress on top of stress, all while the nervous system is already struggling to keep up. When that happens, the signs can show up in a surprising and often disconnected way. You might feel exhausted no matter how much sleep you get, or wired at night when your body should be calming down. Maybe you're noticing your immune system just can't keep up, or your digestion is all over the place, or your weight fluctuates without any clear cause. You may even feel dizzy when you stand, crave salty or sugary foods. Cognitive and emotional signs include brain fog, memory problems, increased anxiety, depressed mood, irritability, and poor stress tolerance. Hormonal symptoms can sneak in too, like irregular cycles, low libido, fertility challenges, thyroid issues, and blood sugar crashes. And because all of these symptoms can appear to be very separate, many people end up bouncing from one specialist to another, with each trying to manage just one piece of the puzzle. Now that's where the neurologically focused approach changes everything. So instead of just chasing symptoms, we look at the whole communication system between your nervous system and the HPA axis. Through advanced insight scanning, like our neurothermal scanning, our neurospinal EMG, and heart rate variability, we can identify specific patterns of neurological dysfunction contributing to HPA axis imbalance. From there, we don't just guess. We actually create a custom care plan based on exactly what your nervous system needs to regulate, recover, and rebuild resilience. When combined with supportive strategies for recovery, this approach provides the foundation for sustainable healing and for resilience. If you've been stuck in survival mode, running on empty, chasing answers, and wondering why nothing truly helps, it's time to take a different path. You don't need to keep managing symptoms that are actually signals. Your body is trying to tell you something, and we're here to help you. At E320 Chiropractic, our neurologically focused approach gets to the root of HPA axis dysfunction and helps restore true balance where it starts, in your nervous system. If this message resonated with you, don't wait. Reach out, schedule a consultation, and let's start rebuilding your health from the inside out.